And we're on a Pony Pride here with defensive coordinator Tom Mason. And Coach Mason, second day of spring practice, how have you seen the defense looking so far?
Well, I'm excited about where we're at. Spring ball is more to get the younger kids ready to play, give the kids that were redshirted a chance to show what they can do. And, one of our goals is to develop some depth coming out of spring ball and to get the kids that are going to move into starting positions enough reps that we're going to be ready to play in the fall.
Speaking of those young guys, one of the positions where the young guys are going to have to do a lot is linebacker. You graduated 3 linebackers last year. I know you had a lot of depth already there, though. So do you feel pretty comfortable about where you are?
Yeah, I really do. I think this group's going to be really good. Joyner and Sanders return in the middle and the outside. And what we got to develop is we got to develop for Taylor Reed and Jaguar Davis where we vacate there. But you've got Kevin Pope, you got Jonathan Yenga, you got Robert Seals. Pruitt showed well early. So I really feel good where we're at with that from a depth standpoint. That's not a real major concern. Back down the road, once these kids get seasoned, I don't think there's going to be a big drop-off there.
Speaking of Robert Seals, he's someone that's been on campus for a little bit of time now, came in with Stefan Sanders, actually. What have you seen out of him and his development?
Well, he's growing the way you want a young linebacker to grow. We got a chance to redshirt him. He's put on a lot of weight. He's 240 pounds now. And it's his turn to go. I mean, he's been behind Jaguar. He's seen enough action where he's seasoned, and now it's time for him to step up and be a full-time player there, and he better get it done because Pruitt's going to be right behind him, and that's the great thing about competition. It makes those guys in front of him better.
For so many years, everyone on the staff has talked about how y'all didn't have the ability to redshirt the incoming freshmen and how it kind of hurt you in their development. Do you feel like y'all are in a good place and all these young players have had enough time to develop?
Yeah, I really feel that way now. I mean, we've redshirted most of these kids. When we first got it, we didn't have that luxury. You think if Jaguar Davis and Taylor Reed were coming in as fifth-year guys with a red shirt, how good we'd be right now. But that wasn't the way the program was when we took it over, and that's a reason why you take a program over. So now we've got that. We hope to redshirt the 2 young linebackers coming in this year, and when you get to that point in the program, that's when your program really takes off.
Can you kind of explain just to a casual fan why redshirting a player is so beneficial to the team?
Well, most freshmen aren't ready to play. I mean, they're not ready from a mental standpoint. The speed of the game is so much more intense than it was in high school. And the competition, to me, I always related in the recruiting is what a kid was like his freshman year in high school. It's about the same turnaround from a maturity standpoint. You'd like those freshmen to come in, learn how to go to school, learn how to lift weights, get involved with the program, and from a physical standpoint, they're not ready to play, most of them as true freshmen.
When you look at the defensive backs on this team, one of the biggest stories, I guess, of the spring is going to be CB Richardson coming back from that ACL injury. Can you talk about what you've seen out of him and if he's recovered yet?
Well, he's really close right now. I'd say he's 80-85%, and he's such a competitive kid. He attacked that rehab, and you just love the kid because he's got that cocky, I can cover anybody type attitude that you love at a corner. He'd go all day long if you'd let him. One of the things I talked to him about yesterday is, hey, let's not fatigue and get that knee re-injured. Let's stay on top of it. Let's limit the reps. I don't need him ready for spring ball. Last I heard, we weren't keeping score in the spring, and we'd rather have him ready for tech.
And then the other side of the corner, Kenneth Acker, who's been your starter for a while now, he's on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, is he at a point where you didn't think he needed that time in the spring to work on his cornerback abilities?
Yeah, that's a lot of it. It's going to do him good to get over there and play some wide receiver, and maybe he can help us out in that position a little bit this fall. From what June tells me, he's going back to corner in fall. But it would give us ability if we had some injuries or we needed him over there, maybe he could be a two-way player for us. And he's going into his senior year. Yeah, we'd like to have him, fine-tune him some more. I think he can always get better, but if it helps the team, then that's what we got to do.
One of your recruits from this past recruiting class, Nate Halverson, is now on campus. He's working with the wide receivers. Is that a sign that the cornerback position is pretty deep right now and that y'all can afford to move some of those guys over?
Well, I think what we're doing right now is we're trying some guys at different positions to see where it benefits us the most as a team. Nate may end up coming back over at corner. Who knows? We're going to switch some other guys over as we get halfway through spring ball, take a look at them on both sides. And I think that's one of the things you got to do as a coach. Your key to success is get your 22 best players on the field. It doesn't matter what position they play.
On the defensive line, you lose Margus Hunt, who's getting ready for the draft. How do you replace a guy like that from your line?
Well, I don't think you can ever replace a guy like that. I mean, that's one of those guys that comes through for you. Every 4 or 5 years, you get a kid of that caliber. I mean, I haven't had a #1 draft choice for years as a defensive lineman, but you can't replace him. But what you got to do is you got to get guys that are close to his ability. And it's time for Zach Woods to go. Eli Nabushi shows real well. We've got plenty of guys, and they're just not going to be that caliber. And you might change your defense a little bit. Strengths of what these other kids might do. They might be faster. I doubt it, but it's just one of those things. We got a freak in there, and he was a hell of a player. We're going to miss him.